Hi everyone, my name is Karen, but you can also call me Between Paperback Worlds. It's up to you. You might hear my dog licking his chops in the background, and now he's stretching. But I thought it would be. Hold on, let me see if this mic works. Okay, so this might be working, this might not. I don't know. But I thought it would be a fun and cozy video if I just went through all the books that I got for Christmas and added them to my Goodreads list. I have a list or a shelf, I would say, on Goodreads, and it's called Physical TBR, and then I also have one called Current TBR. I don't know. I also want to add one that's for my Kindle books that I own, but that is neither here nor there. That's not for today's video. But let's get started on some of these and we'll talk about them and we'll go through them. I posted a lot brighter version of this on my TikTok, so you can follow me there at Betweenpaperbackworld. It is very me to mess up usernames, so some of my titles are worlds with an S and some are not. But the first book we have is We Are All Good, So Good at Smiling. This book, I would say, she is a instant buy author for me, Miss Amber McBride. I don't have much to say about her because I've only read one book by her. And my dog is crying because he hasn't gotten enough attention. But I don't have much to say about her, mainly because I've only read one book by her. But it was so amazingly beautiful and so amazing in every sense of the word that I read it for the first time last year. And then I read it again this year in November for a reread. I cried both times. Both times the books just made me happy and glad that I found her. Like, have you ever had some of those authors where you're just like, I was on earth to read this book. This book was meant for me, and that is one of those books. The next book I have is A Low Country Bride, and this book is mainly because my mother, for my birthday, which was in September, she got me book 2 accidentally, and she didn't know it was book 2 at the time, so I was like, well, that's fine. I wasn't gonna like read it immediately anyways, but then she was like, for Christmas she got me book 1, and I hope it's a good series, because if it's not, I don't know. I'll probably keep them anyways because they were a gift from my mom and I'm not gonna give them away. Actually, I think I have given away a couple of her gifts, but it's okay. My dog is crying at me. I don't know why. Next we have Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. I only have read one Olivia Dade. And it was, spoiler alert, which I adored completely. I gave it a 4 to a 4.5. It was amazing. The thing is, I'm just looking now. This is book 3. So I've read book 1. I own it, and I own book 3 now, which is great. But I don't. He's hissing in my face. My dog is crying in my face right now. But I don't own book 2. So that's probably something I'll have to read on Kindle, and then, get to it. Let's go through. I did get some books for Christmas that I have already read and finished, and I did get some special editions as well. So I got this. You can't even see it, but like, it's a Nikki St. Crow special edition. Look at the edges, look at them go. It's a special edition. And if you want to see this more up close and clearer, I would recommend my TikTok, because this is the first book I show in it. It's amazing. It is the completed series, so it's an omnibus version. It's a top tier book. It's a top tier series, in my opinion. If you enjoy smut and like it's a Peter Pan retelling, it's really good. That's not going on my Goodreads because I've already read all the books from that series, so they're already on my like finished reading. Then I have a special edition of Devourer of Men, which is also by Nikki St. Crow. This is a special edition as well. Both of these editions are signed, and it's just so good. It's very good. I love these two books. Well, technically the omnibus is more than one book, but it's amazing. The next book I have is Nora Roberts' Identity. I have had an up and down relationship with Miss Nora Roberts. The first book I ever read by her, I got from a secondhand bookstore for like $2 and some change, and it was so bad I DNF'd it. Then I read this one from the library because like I'll give her another chance. I mean, it's Nora Roberts, right? So I read this one, and it was a 5 out of 5 stars, and it was like, dang, the book that I loved so much by her is not the book that I bought. So upsetting. And I also, before I got this one, I started her series. I forgot what it's called, the Dragon Heart Legacy series. I've read books 1 and 2. Not my faves. They're very like mid in my opinion. And so then I got this for Christmas. This is Identity, and I gave it a 5 stars. It's a really good like suspense romance thriller. Bless you. Next, I got, so that won't be going on my Goodreads either because it's already on my Goodreads for my library shelf and my like red shelf. Then I have Mad Honey, which is also on my red shelf already because I read this last year from the library as well. I read it in one sitting. It was so good. I did cry. It was a lot, but I'm happy that I read it. It was such an amazing and beautiful book. I talk about this book so often. You might be seeing this book come up in a series that I really want to do on my channel, so look out for that. Top tier. And the last book that is on these stacks that I technically have already read is Solo. This is one of the first like books as a YA person at the time I read that was YA. I believe this is also the first book I ever read that was in verse. And it's very special to me because it was for my high school book club that I was a part of. It was an amazing time, a beautiful time. It's also a very black centric book, and I wasn't expecting the books in that book club to be black centric, but this one was, and it was just a great time to read. So every time I see it at the library, I always talk about it so much that my mom got it for me. So yeah, this is a very special one for me. Now, we have 2 stacks. None of these books I've read, so we're new now. We have Blood Heir. I don't know for sure what this is about, and I don't know what most of these books are about, to be honest, but they're all getting added to the list anyways. I have seen this cover around before, but I don't have much to say on it because I haven't even read the synopsis. But it's also no point in reading a synopsis because I already own it. You know what I'm saying? So, doesn't matter anyways. However, I am looking at the rating and this has a 3.8, which is pretty good. A lot of people don't read books that are lower than like a 3.5 or like around a 3.8, 3.7. And I've read a book that has a low rating that I have given 5 out of 5 stars, 4 out of 5 stars. A lot of people judge books by their rating. I don't think you should do that. The only book that I feel like let's pause so that my dog can, stop crying at my face. Give me a second. I'm back. The only book that I feel like the rating was so low and then I read the book and I was like, damn, I agree wholeheartedly, was the third and final book in the Atlas 6 series. That book pissed me off to all pistoffity, and I was just over it at that point. But because I really enjoyed book 1. I really enjoyed it. So for that one not to be good, I was like, ugh. Next we have Death at Morning House. This is by Maureen Johnson. I love her Truly Devious series. That is one of my favorite like mystery thriller series. I think we would just consider mystery. It was really good. I hope there's another book coming out in the series because the way book 5 ended was on a cliffhanger. But my top 3 are the first 3 books. The first 3 books, there's 5 books in that series. The first 3 books is one story, and it's very good. It is very good. I really enjoyed it. Those all got 5 stars, and it's very rare that I give an entire series 5 stars, but I just think it was done so well. So well. Next, I have The Final Strife, and I also have The Battle Drum. Both of these books are part of the same series, but I don't really know what these books are about. I'm really getting into my black fantasy bag. I have had The Final Strife on my want to read for a while now, but I usually don't buy fantasy series unless I know for a fact that they're complete. And I just don't know if this is a duology. Okay, it's a trilogy. I'm looking now. This is why I'm doing the Goodreads video. I'm looking now. It's a trilogy. It's called the Ending Fire Trilogy. And I own 2 of the books already. And the third one is already out. It came out in September, 4 days after my birthday. So if I like book 1, I'll obviously read book 2. But I'll probably read it anyways because I don't like to unhaul books that I haven't read yet, or at least tried. I can DNF a book and unhaul it, but I don't like to just like unhaul a book I haven't read. But then all I have to buy is 1, which is good because I'm glad. I'm glad that I got these books for Christmas or my birthday or whatever because it means I didn't buy a single thing. Next, we have Secrets Drenched in Blood by Nikki St. Crow. This is an omnibus version as well of her series The Hot Vampire Next Door. I listened to books 1 through like 3, I believe, like 3 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I got for Christmas the omnibus of all of them because I've never physically read them, and now I can, which I'm very excited about. I love Nikki St. Crow books. I think she takes fantasy elements and makes them her own. She's one of those authors who do remakings or retellings, and obviously you can feel like this is not a retelling or remaking, it's just vampires, but you can tell in her remakes and her anything that it's just done so well, and she knows what she's doing. She makes them her own, which I feel like is the main problem with a lot of retellings. It's like they're just Peter Pan, they're just whatever, enter fairy tale here without having a personality of their own. But now I have my own physical copy and I can reread the first couple of books and then see what I think about them. I'm very excited. Next, I have The Bone Season. I'm very excited about this one. I've been seeing this around for a while, and I believe these are the books that I believe this is the series that she redid, like re-edited, because she was so young when she wrote them. I might be thinking about another series. Let me know in the comments if I'm thinking about another series. But I'm very excited to read it. Again, I have no idea what any of these books are about because I don't look at synopsis. Because sometimes synopses are like movie trailers and they give too much away, and then I feel like that's really not something for me when it could be like a 5-star read. I just don't know it yet. So I just don't try, you know? The next I have is Little Legends, Bold Women in Black History. I have the Bold Men in Black History one. I read that one for, I had a readathon in August called Back to School Readathon, because where I'm from, August is the time school starts back up again. And we read children's middle grade and YA books. And I gave them prompts, like a book that takes place at school, a book that has magic, a book that has a BIPOC author. And I used BIPOC author for that book, for the men's version of that book. But every time I tried to find the women's version, it was always sold out. But I love these books. They're very educational for like actual children, but also they just show like different women that people don't hear much about in Black history. Different men, different people in general. And I got that for my birthday. I have the just women in history. So it's not just Black women, but it's women. And it's like a pack, and each pack has 5. And the 5 I got, it was Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Amelia Earhart, and 2 other people I forgot. But I love having these books because I got them for like, I got them to read during like readathons with like children prompts, like children book prompts. But I also want to pass these down to my children. I think it would be such an amazing, beautiful thing to pass down to your child and read them bedtime stories, like each night a different person and they know their history. Beautiful. We have the last stack here. So the first book is, what is this? Unrealistic Expectations. It looks like a romance. I haven't really been paying attention to the Goodreads ratings, so I don't know. Andy, is this a man or a woman? Oh my god, it's a woman. Okay. I'm looking at her stories. I'm looking at her books. I've never seen or heard of any of these before. But this one is a very pretty cover. I really enjoy it. This one has a little bit of a low rating, but I'm not going to think too hard about that. I never read ratings as well. I never read them until after I finish the book. And then I hope that most people agree with me, you know? So, next we have 1984 Julia. I got this because it's very well known that 1984 is one of my favorite classics. I'm having like trouble finding classics that I enjoy a lot or have a good passion for, but 1984 is one of them, and I'm glad about that. So, I'm hoping that I like this version. I believe this is just told in Julia's perspective. Why am I not able to find it on Goodreads? 1984 Julia. Why can I not find it? 1984. Let me just do it on, because I'm pretty sure it's something I want to read on Goodreads. 1984 Julia. Sometimes on Goodreads, things are so hard to find. You type them in and they won't just pop up, but then it won't make no sense. Ooh, it's getting me heated, because this thing is so slow. It's so annoying. I'm sick and I'm tired. Just go. Jesus, I'm over it. Anyways, I finally found it. Alright, it's added. Thank you. Thank you for, like, have you seen my hard work doing this? Goodreads annoys the hell out of me. Don't even get me started on the Goodreads Choice Awards, because what the hell was that? Next, I have The Black Queen. And for this, I'm very excited to read that. It gives me Carrie vibes, and I really like the movies, all the movies of Carrie. But I've never read the book. I did watch Gavin do his video on like reading Stephen King, and he seems to like Carrie a lot. So I think I would like it as well. But I'm very excited. It has a 3.99. That's really good. But it looks like it's gonna be a good time. So That's not very surprising, to be honest. Next, we have Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies. I've seen this cover around. So I'm very excited to read that. I also... Why did I think every time was one word? Okay. Maybe I need to go back to school. Maybe all this reading isn't doing much for me. I don't know. I want to read more books like this. I think this is like a silly type of like solving crime type thing. Like it gives off the same vibes as like Finley Donovan. And I want to read Finley Donovan as well. It looks so good. And it's one of those cozy mystery series that can go on forever. And I really enjoy series like that. They make me happy. So I'm definitely in the mood to read this and Finley Donovan. Then I have Death is My BFF. I don't know for sure what it's about. Obviously, that's the theme of this video. But I do know that people love to harp on Wattpad books. I don't have that same opinion because I used to read Wattpad, and Wattpad was one of my favorite things. Like, I was reading more Wattpad books than I was real books at the time, and there were some Wattpad books on there that I was like, this should be published in every single bookstore. Like, if you guys ever read, I think it got the author of it like deleted it from Wattpad because she was getting like, I don't know, probably like people trying to backseat her writing. But it was this series called Amazing Grace. That was top tier. There's also one called Daisy. Trigger warnings for that one, but that one was so. It was about like that one was about a teenager who was an assassin. It gave off the vibes of Nikita, if anybody ever watched that TV show. And she ran away from her faction, that organization, and she was on the run. But they have implanted like this. It's implanted in everybody who works there. It's like a killing chip. If you desert, that's not it. How do you say that? Desert. Like when you leave without the right paperwork and stuff. Desert? It's not dessert. What am I trying to say? Anyways, and so she was like slowly dying, and that's how they found her, and they brought her back, and now she's infiltrating and she's doing all that stuff. It was so good. And then that like the first like act got finished, kind of like the first book, and then she started another one, but I deleted Wattpad before I could even finish that one because I wasn't reading it enough and she wasn't updating quick enough. But Amazing Grace, Daisy, there was a lot of black romances on there that I loved to read, and there was a lot of werewolf romances on there that I love to read. I am a werewolf girly. I am not a vampire girly, and you can't make me change. The last book I have is God Killer, which I am very excited to read. I fell in love with this book a while ago when I first saw the cover. It was so amazing. The cover of God Killer is one of the most beautiful covers I have ever seen. And if I like this book, this is a book I would try to find the special editions of because it's such a beautiful book. And I believe this is a series. I knew it was a series, but a trilogy. Because it seems like the third and final book is coming out in March of next year, or 2025. So hopefully it's a trilogy. But this is a beautiful cover. I love this cover so much. So I'm very excited to read it. The last book is Bright Red Fruit. And this just reminds me of Amber McBride. And as we have just talked about earlier, I love Amber McBride. She's an auto-buy author. And anything that resembles her will get bought. So I got, it has a 4.4. That's very high. That's very high. Wow, that's good. I'm proud. I don't even know her. I'm proud. I'm very proud. But yeah. those are all of them. Let me make sure. Yeah. So some of them obviously didn't go on the list on my Goodreads because I have already read them. So they're going to go on my read shelves. But a lot of these are going to go on my TBR shelves. And one of the videos coming out, or maybe it's already out, I don't know. I think I'm going to post this one before I post the one I'm thinking about. So the next video after this one will be me organizing my TBR book cards because it's overflowing. None of these fit on my TBR bookshelf. But my TBR book card is empty for the new year, so we're going to switch some stuff over, move some things around, and organize and have a beautiful reading space. Let's hope. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this more cozy, like, not that big of a deal, warmy vibe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.